time for Law and Disorder.
I demand a lawyer.
With attorney Jeff Kaufman on 101.1 WJRR.
This is Orlando's rock station. Jeff Kaufman, partner at Kaufman Lynd, fine local law firm here in Central Florida. If you or someone you know has been injured, slip and fall, car accident, whatever the case may be, if you think you may need a lawyer to get involved, it's at least worth a phone call to ask the question, hey, Jeff, this happened to me. Do you think I need a lawyer?
Yeah, a lot of times he'll let you know you don't need a lawyer and save the money. To get in touch with Jeff directly, it's jeff@whenyouneedus.com. That's jeff@whenyouneedus.com. Or pound 546 on your cell. You can also call, I like this one, 407-500-JEFF.
Yeah, 5333. I didn't realize my name was 5333. It's hard to say.
Let me see what Bob is. I know it's 2.
Well, you're separated a little bit.
Where's the O?
That's a good question. O is
8.
O is the 8.
6.
So it's
262.
It's 262.
Jeff, we do have some questions that have come in from listeners, but obviously going from current events, 2 questions that involve injuries and or deaths. You've got the assassination attempt on Saturday evening in Pennsylvania. Last night, the Copa soccer match down at Hard Rock Stadium where thousands of unticketed fans bum rushed through the gates in what could have turned into a stampede.
That's a ridiculously dangerous thing.
Have you seen the video of that?
It's in a situation
but
like
that's not their fault. The only thing they can do is, how do you stop thousands of people? I mean, they could have had, I guess, hundreds of police officers, but I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, that you have reasonable security for the expected event, which they did, and then that happens.
You know, how do you go, okay, we're just going to show up and rush the fence?
Yeah, that's essentially what happens.
This is the world we live in.
Yeah.
And I think anybody they should have just arrested people in mass for doing that.
But in the event you say
somebody could have died. This is what happens. You and I have been studying this at concerts all the time where there's people get trampled and everything else like that. But how do you even protect yourself when thousands of people show up other than shutting the whole event down and go, we're not doing it?
What was that dude? Wasn't it Travis Scott?
This Houston thing, yeah.
Yeah, but these were people who paid.
Yeah.
You know,
were bum rushed by people who did not. Ugh. And it's, you get injured in that situation. Where do you turn?
Well, the tough thing is this. There are a couple issues, and I know people are listening and going, it's about the money, Jeff. And it goes, the only way people change is when they have to write a check. And that's the way it works. No big company decides to do the right thing because they arbitrarily have a good conscience. They only do it because they're afraid of who? Lawyers. So in this situation, the issue is this. What is your plan? What is this? What could happen? They have to have all these scenarios out there and know what they should do. How do they let people in? I mean, I wind up waiting hours to get into a concert. And it happens all the time to me where you're going, wait a minute, there's a line going in. Like, for example, I went to Def Leppard at Camping World.
Yeah.
And to get out onto the field, the seats out on the field, I mean, they didn't even let you bring a bottle out there. I mean, it was as controlled as possible coming in and out of that place because they go, hey, listen, we don't want anybody hurt. We've had a problem in the past. Now, the question is, now that this has happened, what do they do? What do they put in place? I mean, they can always say, hey, listen, we didn't expect this. Well, next time,
expect it.
So I feel so bad because I'm glad that people weren't harmed worse. I mean, you could have had multiple people die.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, thank God that's the way it is. There
were people
sick.
Going through air vents to get in.
It's a scumbag world we live in.
It
really is.
Mike Bianchi said it the best earlier. It was embarrassing.
Listen, it's not just us. You want to talk about soccer in foreign countries?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Soccer in foreign countries, basically, it's okay to get your ass beat while at a soccer game.
Football, guys.
Well, hey, listen, here we call it soccer. I was born here.
We got any listener questions to throw, Jeff, here?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask him something about the assassination attempt.
How about luckily that in Pennsylvania didn't turn into a wild stampede of panic. If there was cause to have done so, it easily could have happened.
I have never seen people so orderly in a mass shooting.
It was remarkable that it didn't turn into... I was watching these people
not move. And I'm going to be honest with you. Southern people got pretty tough.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
people who hunt are like going, okay,
It's Pennsylvania. Dude.
they hunt in Pennsylvania. So let's be honest.
It's calling them my country folk, Pat.
Yeah,
Well,
when I say that, people who understand weapons. I mean, every one of these guys who was talking, I know, they were going, yeah, I could tell exactly what it was, and they were describing what the sound sounded like. But that's a scary thing to watch and realize. And anybody can be a Monday night quarterback, but we all know that they have eyes in the sky. They had everything else. I mean, that sniper took him out in a second. So why did it take 5 minutes? And people who are wondering about 150 yards, 150 yards
It's
is
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
In the Army, we shoot from 50, 100, 200, and 300. And let me tell you this, we didn't have a tripod holding our gun up. That was your elbow. Mm-hmm. This guy had a tripod. He had enough time to think. And I don't care what political side of the fence you're on, to think that a political candidate, it's like we live in a third world country. I mean, that's what it was like to me. I was looking, that's how they kill people and when they're running in these tougher
Colombia
countries.
or...
Well, I don't want to mention countries because I don't want people to yell at me.
Who does again, like a situation like that?
FBI is responsible for that. FBI, Secret Service. Here's the thing: there were two police officers trying to get on the roof at the time, which means that they had enough notice that two cops were standing. One was standing on the other guy's back, trying to get a shot, get a look at the guy. And I'm going, do you guys talk to each other on the radio? Do you guys even do this
Again,
stuff?
let's not. I mean,
It's weird.
There's a lot of questions to be answered
it's
here.
It's
and,
not conspiracy theories. It's just weird. Anybody goes, seems a little weird. And normally when it's weird, it's because it's meant to be. Nobody has to explain to me that all this other stuff, because you got guys with videos of this guy
backing up backing the stories of the eyewitness accounts. Hey, there's a guy up there. Yet the event's going on
You
for
can hear
almost
him
5
yelling.
minutes before.
If you stand up on a chair at one of these events, there's a security guard ripping you off it. So when they go, we just thought somebody was getting an advantage point. You don't get advantage points at these things.
With a rifle.
And it's not like it was concealed. I mean, it just kills me. But let's talk about something less controversial.
Yeah.
How about Alec Baldwin?
Oh, God. Hey, as much as, a lot of people.
I support exactly what happened to him.
They withheld evidence.
And people go, well, it wasn't big evidence. They did it. The prosecutor admits, he goes, yeah, we knew about it. We just didn't think it was important to tell them. You don't get to make that choice. And anytime a prosecutor has ever told me that, he's lying. Every time a prosecutor has ever said, I didn't think it was exculpatory, it's
lying.
BS. Everything comes in. You don't get to arbitrarily choose, we interviewed a witness and we just didn't give it to you because it didn't help our case. So when you hear the word, when a prosecutor, you'll hear it on the news for a long time to come. It'll happen 50 times in your lifetime. And you'll hear the prosecutor say, I didn't think it was exculpatory. He's lying or she's lying. The intent is to hold evidence that could hurt their case because they're all political hacks. So don't forget that.
All right. We have to get to some of the listener questions. 22526.
Again, though, this is one of those weeks where there's stories in the news that you need to address, and
without a doubt, yeah, definitely. This one wanted you. I know you can't go that in depth with it, but they said, can Kaufman go over the new slip and fall laws? A big firm dropped our case.
Okay, what happened is this: the tort reform that was passed by our governor last year in April. The deal was this: if you could be held more than 50% responsible for the accident, you don't have a case. We used to have what they call comparative negligence, which or contributory, however you want to put it. What meant that, let's say the other side was 40% responsible for your accident, they could be held responsible for that. But because the insurance companies came in and did whatever they do, the new rule is that if you can be held more than 50% responsible for your accident, you can't recover. Now, the reason why that's important is that insurance companies now, when they're adjusters, they're going to argue with you. Oh, well, yeah, he's 50%. He should have seen this. Mm-hmm. And they're going to fight like hell to be able to show it's half, and they're not going to take care of you. So that's what happened. One of the bigger firms took your case, discovered that they didn't want to try the case because they didn't believe that they thought there was a chance that you might be held more than 50% responsible for your accident. Slip and falls are normally based on things like open and obvious. Should you have seen it? Did they clean it up fast enough? I mean, well, we cleaned it up like 3 hours later. I mean,
did you bum rush the jar, the pyramid of pickle jars?
That's why they dropped your case, is because the new changes in the law that happened a year ago, that the 50% rule.
What else we got, Taco?
I've been in a civil lawsuit for a personal injury with another law firm, and the case has taken 3 years.
Yep.
Is that normal?
Yeah, could be. If it's complicated, or there have been continuances, or there's problem with evidence, cases last a long time once you file them. Everyone thinks that, oh, well, I see these billboards. It doesn't work like that. A complicated case, for that it's in trial to begin with, means that the insurance company doesn't want to settle. So you have discovery, which means you're getting evidence, you're changing stuff back. You have expert witnesses. You're deposing people, which means you bring people in and have to talk to them. And the more complicated the case is, the more experts you have, the longer it's going to take. Also, there are judges sometimes, their calendars are full. So they'll set a trial a year and a half later, 2 years later.
Oof.
So yes, it can be long, or everything else like that. So I would just ask your attorney what the schedule looks like. We'll tell you. When somebody says to me, "Hey Jeff, it's been 2 years," I said, "Yes, and let me explain the time frame to you." And I have videos. I send my clients videos on their case, so they know you have a deposition coming up. This is what you need to do. It's a good way to explain it to people, because if you set people's expectations, they can understand stuff.
All right. Obviously, extraordinary circumstances this week as it pertains to this segment. So if we didn't get to your question this morning, you still get a hold of Jeff immediately if you need something answered.
Jeff at whenyouneedus.com is his direct email. Pound 546 on your cell, or call 407-500-JEFF.
Also, we have our event on Thursday, the All for the Money show, which means that it's a free comedy show downtown. Go to whenyouneedus.com/events for free tickets. It's 4 stand-up comedians. We do it once a month, and it's a blast. This one's titled Murica. It'll be fun.
All right. Jeff Kaufman from Kaufman Lynd. We do appreciate your time each Monday, Jeff.
Hey, I love being here.
All right. Lynch and Taco's commercial-free workday rock block coming up at 8. Stand by.
Lynch and Taco on the Download the iHeartRadio app and listen anytime, anywhere.
This is JRR.
This track.